back now, hopefully, to on air. I got disconnected due to the glitch. I had to leave, and now I am back with the stream back up as well. We are in Austria for the lap 3, I believe, under safety car. They should be right now. As I'm still waiting for this thing to happen and load me into the session, as the stream link is back up now by the bot. We are under safety car as we've got one driver out on that lap 1 collision, which you should have seen on the last stream. We are on lap 2, coming into lap 3, still under the safety car, as Luis is half of the down the grid. Anyways, we're gonna have one lap more under this damn safety car as we are trying to see how everyone plans out. Well, Andre's out from P2, which is very, very unfortunate as he gets crashed out by Luis. No, Luis, that was so not right. Yes, Luis, that wasn't so not right from our commentary, and this is why you never put commentators in a car, because this is what happens. Anyways, well, I'm trying to figure out I believe it might have not been Lewis. Anyway, safety car is in this lap and we are getting ready to go back racing here in Austria. It's lap number 4. We are starting soon for the Austrian Grand Prix here, as Merritt is backing up the field and he's gone now out of the final corner. Liebach goes wide as he passes the safety car there. You can see Owen getting great run on Liebach. We have some green flags flashing into turn 1. The camera cuts off awkwardly, but we've still got a great view here as Owen tried to make the move on Liebach. He's now had to get the position to the McLaren of Nighthawk. Callum gets past the Alpine, so currently it is the McLaren ahead as he goes wide. Is there some contact? I'm not quite sure, but Callum rejoins behind Owen, and he's between two Owens currently, Owen and Owen. Anyways, Merritt up ahead is pulling away in the lead as the United States represent in the beautiful Union Jack there. I'm having great amount of lag there for some reason because Fantes just left the session, but anyways, he is leading the race currently ahead of Liebach, who's trying to back off the field, involving Owen, and Callum has made a mistake. Sorry about that, I had to get off my bed there. But anyways, VPT combat with the fastest lap. Here comes Owen on Liebach, wheel to wheel into turn 1. Owen on the inside, Liebach on the outside to keep it clean. Does Liebach go over the curbs there? I'm not quite sure, but his car bounces up a little as he rejoins behind the Alpine currently. As we see Nighthawk in the Callum trying to give some pressure towards the Mercedes, who's trying to give pressure towards the Alpine. P1 currently is Oscar Pastor. He is enjoying this, Merritt Wilson, whatever you call him. but the Alfa Romeo is enjoying this as he's pulling away. Into turn 4 we go. Liebach still holding off to that P3, but he's made a little mistake. Here comes Callum now through turn 5, wheel to wheel. The Mercedes and McLaren, the partner teams, wheel to wheel contact as Lee forces Callum off the track. Callum rejoins quite dangerously, almost hits the second Owen. Luis gets past as Luis now goes wheel to wheel with Callum. Luis loses the back end, and there are two cars going round in turns 7 and 8 complex. Callum and Luis have spun around. DRS is enabled, but the McLaren and Red Bull coming together. No damage, I believe, but first Callum gets forced off the track by Lee, and then he gets hit by this man who's spun again for the second time in a span of 1 lap into the pit lane entrance, and he's also lost his front wing aim plate on the right hand side. So this is why you don't put a commentator in a car to drive it. Anyways, Liebach is catching up to what is his name, into YouTube Fruits. Now it's going off the track. Liebach, he hit the gravel a little bit. I think he's got the car still okay. He's gone onto the gravel again almost there, as you can see some dirt on his tires. Liebach with another 3-second time penalty into his car, into his race time added, but I think he'll be just fine with that 3 seconds, because I believe everyone else is going to get 3 seconds, and we're already entering the boring part of the race as everyone is gapping each other. And this is what I was worried about, because right now there's really nothing to look at except the fact that hopefully Liebach could keep up with Owen here as they make their way up the hill into turn 3. I was gonna say over to our co-commentator, which I do not have, which is quite annoying because I do have to talk all the time myself, and I would like to have some pauses. But if I pause during this commentary, it's gonna sound awkward. The gap is now 2/10 more than it was previously in 2 corners ago. So Lee losing time a little bit compared to the Alpine. So the Mercedes falling off the Alpine's back here, while the Alfa Romeo is able to pull up a huge gap up ahead. But we'll see who is the driver going to be able to come out on top, as Lee, I think he's gained back on the Alpine here. He is catching, he's gone off the track again. Surely he's having some track limit issues. Let's actually ride on board the Mercedes for a few laps as the sun is setting here in Spielberg, in the beautiful close to Alps. Well, it's actually Lower Austria we are currently in, as you can see the beautiful scenery up the hill there and that beautiful mountainy region up ahead. But Owen having the struggle. We're not gonna have a time to look at that beautiful scenery you can see up there behind, because this is the time we're gonna have some racing as Lee comes towards Owen. There's some contact with the Alpine hitting the back of Mercedes. We just saw Toasty go off the track. Neela, I've got a race to commentate. Liebach makes contact with Owen. We're in the helicopter here. Liebach goes a bit wide. He hits the front wing of the Alpine. Does he have damage? I'm not sure, as Owen is gone off the track. He's spun around behind. He's kept the car okay. Let's switch back into this other fight here, consisting of Liebach and Owen, as Owen's got another 3-second time penalty. Liebach, surely he's close to another 3-second as well. These two fighting is giving us the best entertainment of Tier 3 in a long while. Into turn 1, Owen just sits behind. We've got a car off, and that is Toasty for the second time in a span of 1 lap. Owen's gone off. In the meanwhile, here comes the second Owen on Liebach, wheel to wheel now up the hill. They come into turn 3, some small contact, should be fine. Liebach cuts the corner, he gets another 3-second time penalty. The DRS is on the Alpine's car, so Liebach doesn't have DRS. He's gonna have the disadvantage into turn 4. He has the outside line. The Alpine on the inside. Can he force his way past? Yes, he can, as Liebach goes into the gravel. Does he get forced off? I'm not quite sure, but he's absolutely fallen away now from the Alpine, and he is fuming, I believe. if you can see, he's trying to get back into the back of that Alpine. He's just about outside that 1 second. 1.00 is the gap. They're almost equal. He might just about miss out having that DRS. He's now within 1 second. You can see he's over pushing the car as he's gone off twice already there after that incident. But does he have the DRS open? No, he doesn't, as he's fallen away just that 1 second outside. This is a great fight for P2, and there's some lag there. You can see as Nighthawk's got a 3 second. Everyone almost has a penalty now as we see him come now up the hill. He's just about outside the DRS of the Alpine. What about further back behind, because I believe Luis is struggling a little as we see Callum deploying the battery quite on. We're going to switch back to the Liebach fight if there's something happening there. Anytime closer now into towards turn 1. Luis gets very slow exit. Here comes Callum. Callum on Luis. Callum has the outside inside into turn 2 up the hill, which is the outside of turn 3, but he doesn't even need to cut across the track as he's ahead of the Red Bull, who looks to be struggling quite a lot. Luis in the Red Bull still without the end plate, struggling a lot as the gap to the leaders is growing and growing, but he's already 2 seconds down on Callum, who's now currently gone off, and that is Callum who's gone off the track. He's now behind Luis again, and the McLaren has made another crucial error in his final race in McLaren before he departs to Alfa Romeo for the next races. As he goes into the gravel, almost hits the back of the Red Bull. They both keep it clean as they come now down towards turn 9. Almost wheel to wheel up ahead. Here comes Lee. He's almost hit the back of the Alpine ahead as Nighthawk is gone past during that time. Callum overtakes Luis as Liebach still 1 second behind now of the Alpine. Callum with the DRS is ahead of Luis, but he has a little lag spike and he's off and into the barriers. As I believe that might have been a screen freeze. He's off and into the barriers, and we've got a safety car out on track because Callum has lost his front wing while going off at turn 1. That was a weird crash, probably due to lag. Anyways, what does Merritt Wilson do in the Alfa Romeo? He comes in to the pit lane to change tyres. Does Owen follow him in? Yes, I believe he does. So let's debug. But let's have a look on the Alfa Romeo pit crew, who are known to be quite well, they're not that fast, but they're still okay. Pit stop into pit lane. Liebach, by the way, stays out into the pit lane. Comes Merritt Wilson. It is quite a slow stop. I mean, it's 2.5, I believe. Oh, it's quite a slow stop from Alpine, but it doesn't really matter because he's still going to come out in P3. But Liebach stays out on those mediums. Let's actually have a look on the tires now, as we have Luis trying to slow down to the delta time. You can see up at his steering wheel is 2.5 laps of fuel up. It's quite a lot. He is coming into the pit lane here. What does Nighthawk do? He's also got no front wing, so of course he's having to come into the pit lane. Toasty also in, so we've got 3 cars still into the pit lane. Luis brakes early, and well, I don't know what he's doing, but he's still inside Callum here as they all come into the pit lane. Luis, first driver to get that wing change in. Next up, Toasty slots in right behind me. It's a clean stop by the Ferrari as he comes out ahead there. What about the McLaren? Where does he slot? Who comes out ahead? It's Luis in the Red Bull. So that pit stop was crucial, but they will have a lot of work to do to catch up to the rest of the field now. Anyways, up the sharp end, interesting, Liebach staying out on those mediums because the hard tires, in theory, they can take you to the end, but you're gonna have like 70% tire wear towards the end, if I am correct, which I am because I raced here yesterday in tier 1, and I will hopefully race, if my internet's okay, in tier 2 tonight at 8 p.m. Tune in for this YouTube channel for Luis, this man in the Red Bull, as he's back in commentary box for tier 2 today. Jess Abbott not racing, hope probably for tier 2 today, which is quite unfortunate for her, but fortunate for us rest to have a little bit of a chance. You can see there, as we look there, you could see them, the rest of the grid on the right hand side under the safety car, just lining up as the rest were on the left hand side. Anyways, here, this is a great shot actually, because you can see the elevation change at turn 1, down up to turn 3, and then here, the beautiful scenery of Austria, and beautifully recreated Spielberg in the F123 game. It's something I'm just looking at because I have nothing to say. Look at this track evolution. This is actually a great track. Anyways, it's going to be quite interesting to see as Nighthawks pits for a new set of hard tires for some reason. If I'm looking at the race director, he's made now 3 pit stops already, which is quite a lot for the early part with Lee still yet to pit on this race. But the interesting thing is, how long will those tires last? And I believe he will be just falling like a rock as we make our way towards the end. Here are the position changes, and currently Liebach leading with 2 places up, for how much longer with those tires. Yes. BPC Combat down 1 place, but for not for long probably. Owen has gained 1, Owen has gained 2 places, and Luis equal where he started. Nighthawk up 1 place as he started last with that qualifying ban, and Fante down 5 places from P2 on the grid as now last and one and only driver currently out of the race. Let's go back to the penalties as we're still under the safety car. We're gonna enjoy some beautiful car music as we are hoping to see the end of this lap. I don't know, but one thing I do know is that my music is not working, which is great. Well, that's get a little unfortunate anyways. Liebach now leading the pack at the safety car restart, which will probably be chaos because it's tier 3 and easy. I'm sorry, but idiots cannot drive a Formula 1 car. Anyways, we're almost at the halfway point, 4 laps away from that, and the hard tire should be able to take you almost towards the end. As Table Emily scored for Nottingham Forest, Liebach goes wide, he almost reaches the back end. That offsets most of the grid because they cannot overtake, remember, before the wide lines into turn 1. Here comes Meredith on the Alfa Romeo, he takes the lead, Liebach goes wide, Owen gets past Liebach as well, in towards now, down towards turn 2 and up towards turn 3. Liebach has got the straight line speed advantage compared to the Alpine, he's got back past him into turn 3, wheel to wheel now. Liebach almost losing the back end. Those tires, those old medium tires, not providing enough grip. He's blocking the Alpine quite aggressively as we make our way now down towards the, it's 2x2 here, 2 wides into turn 4. Callum hits the Ferrari and he's gone round. Owen goes off the track. 2 Owens come together and it's a double crash there as we see Callum off the track, and then the 2 Owens both spinning out at the exit of turn 4, and it's a huge chaos at the safety car restart with first the Ferrari and McLaren coming together, then the Mercedes and Alpine, and then the Alpine and Ferrari coming together. I think everyone has escaped without bigger damage, hopefully, as he should be fine. Nighthawk struggling a little for rear end grip there. You can see Liebach coming into the pit lane for a tire change. Those mediums did not work at all, so that strategy is ruined for him. Luis is trying to defend against Callum here, which is going to be quite interesting to see what he can do as we make our way. Being these beautiful cameras, I just love the camera shots at Austria. I don't know why. Anyways, Luis goes off the track. He rejoins, Callum's right behind him. He's got no DRS yet as it's just the second lap after the safety car ended. Now into turn 4, Luis forces Callum quite far off, but he has the right to do that, but that was quite too late. Almost could be considered moving under braking, but we'll see what the stewards say about that. Oh, that's some oversteer moment there from Callum in the McLaren as we come our way. Now down through turn 7 and 8, some lag there a little bit. Should be mostly alright. As we see now, Nighthawk. Callum into the penultimate corner. He's gone for it on Lewis. Wheel to wheel into the final corner. We've got Toasty off, and the Ferrari has spun again. He's facing the wall. Rear towards the wall. He's gone round for the 5th time, I believe, in this race. But Luis trying to challenge Callum still here. DRS is enabled, but I believe the Red Bull, yes, he doesn't have the DRS somehow, which is quite concerning considering the DRS should be enabled on this lap. Into turn 3, Luis keeps it within the track limits this time. He's got the DRS distance, but he's got the DRS enabled, but he doesn't have the close enough distance to open up that rear wing, which is going to mean, just maybe, the McLaren is able to pull away from the Red Bull up ahead. Oh my goodness, man, I'm going to need a little break of talking here, because all of this fast talking is really starting to get into my head. Ooh. Anyways, next driver coming across here is the Alpine of Owen we're looking at. He spun with the other Owen, who's currently last. Liebach pitted also down in second last. No real big fights currently out on track, as we're only watching the gap between Owen and Lewis shrink and shrink all the damn time. All this damn time. And he best believe he is bejeweled. But I don't know what is going on at the moment. Nothing going on as we enter the half times for the Premier League matches, which is quite nice to see. Toasty with another 3-second time penalty. Well, actually his first 3-second time penalty. Luis is keeping quite well up. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm half asleep already, and it's midday. It's 6 p.m. for me. Anyways, it's 4 p.m. in the UK. And 5 p.m. in Austria. We are currently, as Luis is keeping quite well up at the back of Nighthawk. It's just a good calming moment here. To just get a recap on what has happened, Nighthawk's getting another penalty. So we've had 2 safety cars with 1 retirement on lap 1, Vanta, and then a few crashes on both on the second safety car restart, and a few other crashes which involve Callum Foss going off track at turn 1, and a few spins there and there for Toasty. Nothing too serious, nothing too bad. But in general, and yes, this is a Formula 1 stream, but I do have to talk about some live questions here, because that's what I like, and you're gonna have to bear with the moment. But we just need to feel the moment here, because right now we're just watching these cars drive around the circuit in F123 game, enjoying our lives in the way we like it. You could be having fun playing the video games at home, you could be having fun going out with your friends all the time, going out to play football, going out to the park, going out to eat with your friends. But this is what we love, and this is what we have came here for, like Rihanna said and Taylor Swift wrote. Into turn 1, here comes the Alpine ahead of Lewis now. So the Red Bull now down behind the Alpine, who's got the DRS though, now down towards turn 3. Neither one again, so they were again wheel to wheel at the detection point. But Owen takes the final podium spot. Owen with W, which is still should be called double V, for fuck's sake. But Luis now with the DRS, he's just not close enough. Luis, but I'm just wondering, where the hell has Luis found this place? To be honest, I gave him an esports setup, so that should help him out. But he's still having quite a nice pace, to be honest. I thought he would be slower, because I've looked at his racing and he's not that fast, to be honest, but he's kept quite well up with the tier 3 actually, so he could actually start driving here full time if I am able to do this well, not all of the weeks I'm able to do this comps, which is quite a lot, which actually it's most of the weeks. But Luis actually setting quite good times here. He's still within DRS of the Alpine as they make their way down through turn 1. That's not the fastest turn 1 I have seen in F1 23, but better to keep it clean than go too fast. The rear wing is open. There you can see the sponsor not liking that rear wing open, but it is what it is for Red Bull, as we've seen another penalty for Owen. Here comes Lewis. Is he about to make an overtake? Yes, he is. On the Alpine into turn 4. No, the Alpine holds off. He's just had the pace over the Red Bull. But the Red Bull is still behind. I don't know what I'm trying to talk about. I'm trying to concentrate on two, because I cannot concentrate on two things at the same time. Anyways, Lewis and Owen providing us quite a good fight here, to be honest, for a while, as Liebach has got another penalty as he's down, hopefully catching up to this back at some point if they keep fighting. Lewis still within DRS. The rear wing is open as they make their way now up towards turn 3, and my perfect camera angle, you can see it's actually my favorite on F1 23. I don't know why, I just decided this is also the race where we had those camera issues on tier 1 last season, where the camera people, actually, as we should call them now, were drunk on something stronger than the drinks in the bar. And I've got another internet issue, which is, as that is another Taylor Swift reference there. You can see the blank space between these cars, and it's getting smaller, and it's getting smaller all the time. It's like Owen is yelling at Lewis to stay. Like, it's actually crazy how much Lewis has found his pace today, how Lewis has found his pace, and how he's able to keep up with this guy on the Alpine. They're also catching up to the McLaren quite well, to be honest, if I'm correct, but Merritt Wilson is able to pull away quite nicely. Well, it's quite unfortunate to see this kind of stuff happening. I was talking about Andre, who's got taken out on lap 1. You can see the gap are quite similar between all of the drivers, and I'm just wondering, is Lewis playing the long game here, or is he just sitting behind us because he cannot get past? I'm not quite sure. And I don't know if I do want to even know that, because I'm sleepy right now. I'm starting to sound like Lewis in the commentary. As we see Owen make some mistakes there. Can that allow Lewis in as well? Lewis has some great grip there. We'll see how he does. Into the penultimate corner. And into the final corner, Lewis has the DRS. And by the way, a few quick notes. You can see the McLaren in P2, Callum. He said he did 12 50% races for practice, which is mad for TSRL Tier 3, which is, let's just say, not that serious. But I'm just looking at the rear wing of the Alpine now. I had a little pause there, I don't know why. Nighthawk with another penalty. Lewis, I'm actually quite surprised how much Lewis has been able to keep it within the track limits currently. But that is something we need to talk about little more, Lewis. Why are you not driving actively? Because you're actually quite good. As we are seeing him keeping up here still with Owen, but they've now lost some time to Callum here. Lewis trying to get a little bit out of the dirty air of the car in front, which is Owen. We'll see how they bear as they come now down up the into the penultimate corner. Oh my goodness me, my commentary has been shit today. Anyways, here they come now down the final corner. You can see the McLaren up ahead as they're just calmly making their way now down into turn 1 once again. up in with each other. Here comes Lewis though. He's got the DRS now. He's got some straight line speed. He's got some confidence somewhere. He's got the pace today. I don't know where he's got that from, but he's got it today. He's almost going past the Alpine. We've got some lag from my side. I think someone's left the session. I'm not quite sure. Lewis falls back again half a second, but he's keeping up quite well. And he's actually having some great pace, but ultimately, will that pressure lead up to mistakes? As we see Liebach, who's caught up by 1.5 seconds in the last 4 laps. So that will be interesting to see where he can filter in the end. But looking at the gaps right now, looks like Luis could be on for P2 even if Callum can't pull away with these penalties. Also Toasty, if there's a safety car, is in a great position unless he gets lapped, as he's currently about to. Lewis is. Oh, I was just talking about the penalties. Lewis got another penalty, which is going to mean he's just about outside the podium, P2 window of Callum, and I don't know why I'm talking like this. Anyways, time to eat some chips, which is not crisps, guys. We are speaking American English as we have American driver leading the beautiful race. Lewis under the Irish flag. Oh, we've got a mistake. We've got a mistake from Owen. He's made a mistake. He almost spins into the wall. He's kept the car nice and calmly on track, but he's vulnerable now. Here comes Lewis into turn 4. Lewis somehow is not able to get alongside enough to make a move. That Alpine has some serious straight line speed. My goodness me. Is he running a low wing setup? Yes, I believe he is. Is he a straight line speed merchant? Yes, he is. Of course, he's an Alpine. What else can I say? Well, to be honest, Alpine this season have been quite good in, especially Tier 1, fighting with McLaren, Morgan and Nicholas and Ben and Alex. Well, Alex just left, I'm going to sign Rico to replace him, but it's going to be interesting to see Yuri and Gideon also in the Mercedes, currently leading the World Constructors Championship. I don't know, after Austria. If you are looking to drive in Tier 1, if you are an esports driver or in general a very fast driver, welcome in for Fridays at 8 PM GMT UK time for Tier 1 with some fast drivers. We're heading off to Silverstone next week, by the way, for the home race of Formula 1 and the home race of most of our drivers, except for this one, who's this Red Bull driver who's about to overtake the Alpine. He does not drive under the Union flag. He does drive under the Irish flag. So does multiple other drivers. We're riding on board this beautiful camera shot of Lewis. He's got quite a lot of DRS as we now on board his front wing in the middle sector. He's keeping up with the Alpine quite well. I think he's just copying his lines, to be honest, and keeping up quite well. I'm just looking at this fact that Liebach is catching up to this fight quite quickly. And we've got a yellow flag, and that is Callum, who's gone off and around. I think Callum has lost out. He still is ahead of those guys, but the gap is now so small that he might even lose out. He might be down to P5 in the end, as we see Toasty, who's been lapped by Owen, by the way. You can see him on the background. Anyways, this fight is now starting to turn out to be a 3-way, maybe 4-way fight if Callum slows down a little bit, but Liebach is able to just get at the back here. You can see while we run it on board of him, he's got quite a lot of ERS, and so does each and every single one of these drivers, as they're all deploying now down the third straight second DRS zone in Austria for Luis, as he's got the rear wing open. And now into turn 5, and now turn 6 comes the Alpine once again ahead of the Red Bull for the 10th lap soon in a row. These guys have been battling out. Just curious, what does go in people's mind during races? Because for me, it's the most random shit I've ever told about. Because I would love to know what these drivers think about during this race. Because I think about my friends and in general life. To be honest, sometimes I just wonder what happens after death. Oh, I cannot say a few words because this stream is gonna get taken down. But it's just interesting to think about stuff like that during the race when it's getting boring, especially if you're a driver like Merritt Wilson, who is leading by 22 seconds without penalty. He might as well do another pit stop for the soft tyres and take the fastest lap as well. I think he has it currently, but he could improve it if he wants to. Into turn 4 we go, and it's for another lap again. It is the Alpine ahead of the Red Bull. We've got little over under 8 laps here. I would say 7.5, 8 if you include fully this one. But Lee Bug has fallen away now, which is something to note as well. So he's not able to keep up with these as he's got another penalty, Lee Bug. Now up to 12 seconds already. Lewis, one of the lowest penalty counts of the Grand Prix. Third lowest. Toasty is the second lowest, but he is down a lap already. So even if there is a safety car, unless he stays out one extra lap, he could unlap himself because he's still inside the pit. He just still come out ahead of the Alfa Romeo if the Alfa Romeo pits. But Luis has now got a great run here into turn 3. Is he gonna go for it on the outside? Here comes Luis. He's too afraid, I believe, to get that power down early enough so he does not spin. He's also running full traction control, which doesn't matter right now because he's got a great run in towards turn 4. He's just about behind, so that full traction control really limiting his effort to get the power down as he makes his way now towards turn 6, still behind the Alpine and still trying to get past the Alpine, which is getting quite annoying for him. But making his second race here in Tier 3 this season after what was a very boring Portuguese Grand Prix. It is something to really remember there, which was a 3 race drivers 5 lapper. He ended up a lap down on that race. This race, with the esports setup I gave him, it looks like he's done some pace, and as I said that, he's fallen out of the DRS. Are those tyres going off? Let's actually have a look on the tyres now, because yeah, look at the tyre life. I wonder if Callum is going to make it to the end, to be honest. He's got 24 lap old hard tyres. The hard tyres go 30 laps without a puncture, but the cliff has already gone for almost all of these drivers. Toasty is pitted, by the way, for another set of soft tyres here. He's trying to steal the fastest lap, I believe, but he's got another penalty now. Let's actually go on board of him to see if he is... I believe he's currently on an out lap, so we'll see. Yep, once he comes into the next lap, we'll see what he can do with those fresh soft tyres, what times he can set. Luis still able to keep it within 1 second of his best lap, so he's been very, very consistent here overall during this race. If you just look on these lap times, you can see he's quite, when he calls up to the Alpine, he's been quite consistent on the higher 10, slower 11s. So that is very much something to remember as Toasty spun it. Oh, over, he's gone round. That's quite unfortunate for him. Anyways, Luis, what can he do? He is catching up to the back of the Alpine here, as he's trying to get right towards the back of him, and he's now got, I believe, quite a good DRS. Again, he's got a DRS here, but he's just not that close enough to the Alpine to be able to get anywhere near enough to make a move here, which is just unfortunate, as I would love to see some fighting going on up ahead, but it's just, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with these guys. Anyways, let's try the ball for Lewis. In 1 second I'll be back. I need to answer one text. There we go. Well, Lewis, during this time I looked away for 5 seconds. Lewis has fallen away from the DRS once again, so we're back to this boring moment. Let's see Toasty now, as he's making a very fast lap here, 1.5 seconds faster than his previous fastest lap, as he comes now round the final corner. He's into the wall. Oh, and his fastest lap attempt ends up catastrophically. Well, he's still got his end plate attached to the car, but it's not a safety car due to not the full front wing coming off the Ferrari. I like this filter, yeah. that could work. But Ferrari into the barriers in his final race for Ferrari before he departs to McLaren here. As we're currently looking at the lineups here. These two are going to be Alfa Romeo next race, and they are going to be absolutely dominant. Although I'm not quite sure how long Nighthawk can keep up with those positions. He's got a 3 second, so does Lewis, but Lewis is still within 6 seconds. He is on for the P2 here. Unless Liebach has anything to say. Well, Liebach is still behind. It could be a huge race for this man. He could be on for a damn podium here, which is absolutely wild. So currently, if the race were to finish currently, it would mean that the podium would be Merritt Wilson in P1, then it would be Luis in P2, with Callum completing the podium as it stands. But if Liebach's able to catch up a little, he could get that podium. Here we go, Callum's brake check! Oh, we've got an Alpine off. We've got an Alpine off, and that is Owen, who's got brake checked by Callum there, and he's got end plate damage. What has happened there? They are in the VC together. I'm gonna join and listen to this as we speak. Hopefully there's not too much screaming as Nighthawk has gone off again. Nighthawk has spun it once again.
Oh, what happened? Oh, what happened?
And he's down to P5. Nighthawk is in P5 right now. He's gone from the hero to zero. Luis is up to the podium. He can keep this podium maybe. But this is interesting to see. Nighthawk is slowing down. He's coming into the pit lane. Toasty overtakes Nighthawk as Nighthawk is down. Callum's down the order. This is now it. This could be a podium for Lee as well. He's within 3 seconds with 2 laps to go. This is very, very close now. Well, I'm supposed to say unlapped. He does not overtake him, Owen, of course. But that is still something to do at here. As we are looking now, Liebach, he needs to catch up to the back of the Alpine. Well, he needs to be within a few seconds. We're starting the final lap now. Oscar Wilson is fighting Nighthawk here as they are up a lap ahead. But currently, as it stands, Luis, he's well and truly gonna get the P2 on track even as we are entering the last lap. If he doesn't make mistakes and the pressure doesn't crap, Liebach has made a mistake. He's gone off the track. He's got a 3 second time penalty, which is gonna mean he's gonna be outside the podium unless he can get past VPC Combat now. Has got a 3 second penalty. Liebach could be here to challenge for the final podium position. Are we gonna see a crash between these two? Liebach pushing at the greatest. He's diving down the inside. Both of them go off the track. Liebach takes the Alpine wide. That was worst commentary I've ever heard from myself. Anyways, Liebach forcing his way past the Alpine, who's got no end plate still. The Alpine dares to dive bomb. There's a lot of wheel banging as they make their way wheel to wheel contact. Liebach's being forced off. Here comes Oscar Wilson. He's won the race. Merritt Wilson wins the race. We're back to this fight, which means Liebach is ahead behind of the Alpine. Will there be a penalty for causing a collision? Here they come now as we have 2 more corners to go and no end plate for the one of them. One has end plate. Here comes Liebach. He's taken the Alpine off and the Alpine's gone off and he's damaged to the front wing there. But Luis takes the P2. Liebach in the end with the P3. Huge dive bomb there. But that will be surely an investigation there by the stewards. And that was a huge ending to the Grand Prix now. But I believe, if I were have to say now, as a lead steward, if I have to say right now, I think the order will be VPC Combat, Luis and Owen, as I believe there will be a penalty for Lee again. I believe there will be a penalty for Lee, but as it stands, it's a podium finish for Lee as it stands. but that's not gonna stand for long. I can already tell you that. This was a huge race and a huge ending to the one of the best races I've ever commentated. Thank you very much. We're gonna have post-race interviews. We're gonna have post-race interviews in Interviews VC right now. Well, Toasty, he drove 6, so nothing he can do there. There is our final results and some few tire usages, as well as the full race director for everyone who wants to see it, which is absolutely terrible and huge long. Let's have a look on everyone's lap times, because that's going to be something interesting to have a look on. There we go. You can watch your own lap times here. Lewis was super consistent. If you want to watch your laps post race, there it is for analyzing those stuff and all the warnings as well for everyone. So that's going to be interesting to see. Getting into the post race interviews now. I am joining right now as we're still gonna scrolling through the fastest everyone's lap times here, as Fante of course retiring from the race and VPC Combat winning the race. Welcome everyone. I'm gonna check, let me just actually screenshot this, because so I can actually we're gonna go into the loading screen, because I need to look at the results at the same time as the stream is on. So yeah, anyways, time for some post-race interviews. We'll start off once I get the results pulled up. Once I get the results pulled up, who do we have here? We have Owen here. Hello Owen, I hope the stream is still up. Toasty, welcome. Well, racing as sick, always not a good idea, and ending up lap down from P6, nothing to be honest you can do there, but still good 8 points. Are you happy with the results, or you feel like you
I think I could have done a little better had I have had more energy. I think I could have eaten some food before the race, and it might have helped a little bit.
Before we can,
I did have an incident with Owen that I think kind of messed me up, and that's kind of what got into my head. Everything just fell from there.
Quick question: if you have the stream open at the background, can you please turn the volume down so it doesn't go in a loop over and over again? Thank you. Anyways, I was just gonna ask about the crash with. I was just gonna have a question with you. Your crash with Owen. What do you feel about that? Because that was a big moment in the race, and a big moment that changed the results quite a lot.
I think that I could have handled the situation a little bit better. I'm not sure exactly who caused it. I'll have to look at my replay. I think that's kind of that. It really got into my head, because I had a chance of getting podium maybe had I've not hit him and spun out. And I think I just went into my head, and I was thinking I'm not going to be able to catch up, and I just let it get the best of me, and I wasn't able to catch back up.
Well, that's quite unfortunate for you, but anyways, hopefully you'll be fine next week, as you are joining McLaren for Vodafone, Spotify, McLaren, Mercedes, Marlboro, NordVPN, F1 team racing.
Oh my god.
Welcome to the team next week. Well, we're going to the driver who's joining Alfa Romeo actually next week, alongside VPC Combat in Alfa Romeo next week. Callum Nighthawk, how are you feeling? I was just talking about how much penalties you had and how much pressure you must have been feeling there while trying to gain that gap to keep that P2. Ultimately, you could have been P3, except you had that incident. Can we get a thoughts on what happened in the end?
I want to cry right now. I want to go to a bridge and jump off it. I had been told the news before the race about me being sacked. But at least starting a new chapter with Alfa Romeo next week with my teammate, with my actual championship fighter who goes top of the championship standings. But yeah, basically, with those hards, they were used quite a lot, so I was struggling. That's why I got the penalties, and then I had an 8-second gap, but then I spun, and then so it got it down to 2 seconds, and then I got a puncture, and then yeah, but at least I pitted. It kind of happened in the perfect way because I had to pit anyway. Because I was planning to pit to go onto softs to take away the fastest lap from WP from Merit. So, managed to get the fastest lap taken away, which is nice. 1 less point to him, 1 more point to me. Really, every point helps in a championship battle like this. But yeah, just overall rubbish.
Yeah. I was going to ask about that tyre strategy because we saw you. Thank you, Owen. I appreciate that. Anyways, we saw you coming into the pit lane twice under that second safety car. Do we have any reason for that? Because you were going to a tyre that could have taken you quite far, the fresh mediums, but you decided to pit for a 6-lap all hard tyres. Do we have any reason for that? Do you?
Yes.
Also, do you feel like that was a mistake from the team strategy side, or you feel like that was the only option? Or you feel like your team, which you are now leaving, getting stacked, let you down in your last race?
They didn't let me down at all. I've enjoyed my time here at McLaren. Well, at McLaren. I've worked with an amazing bunch of people, one of them being you, Mayor. Thank you for the opportunity you have given me. But it's time to move on now. Yeah, basically, I blame Owen, the Alpine driver, because I asked in the voice chat, do you think mediums will make it to the end? Or far. They said no. And look where it got me, a puncture. So, I blame the Alpine driver.
Well, I would like to blame Alpine as well, because I hate Alpine from the bottom of my heart, but I cannot blame Alpine because it's in your responsibility. But sadly, yeah. I've got one more question to you before we go. The second safety car, what happened? Do you have a screen freeze or what? You just went straight on at turn 1. Just a short comment, please.
Locked up.
Okay,
Locked
thank you.
and hit the wall.
Well, good luck to Alfa Romeo. Good luck to Alfa Romeo in the future, and wishing you the best of luck. Then we've gone on to. Do we have Lee here? No, because I want to go to Lee before. We're gonna go. I want to go to Lee before. Oh, well, Lee's not here because I believe that I can say 99% sure. Owen, congratulations! You're gonna get that P3 post race. I am like 90% sure of that already. I can say that. Well, how do you feel about the fight with Lewis? First of all, just a great fight. You were able to keep him at bay for over 10 laps. You feel like that was working, or do you feel like you could have pulled away a little bit more?
Well, to be honest, like he just kept getting the DRS on the straights. But I was hoping that if Lee caught up, they might have battled and I could pull away, because I tried to keep my penalties in mind compared to the drivers at the back of the grid. But then, as Callum's tyres were getting worn out, and he had the puncture, I was right behind him, and I broke my front wing, which caused me to last 2 laps. I had to drive carefully, which I then lost time to Lee. I turned in on him a bit on the U-turn, and then coming out of the second last turn, I kind of just got, I don't even know.
Yeah, well, it's quite unfortunate. Hopefully he's speaking the truth and he had that lag, but nonetheless he will get a penalty for that. I swear, who the fuck is doing that? I'm gonna actually kill you. No, I'm not gonna do that. Sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry, YouTube. Don't get us banned. Thank you. Anyways, please. I can see who is doing that. Can you? Just stop. Okay, please. I need to go soon. So if you want to interview, stop. Okay. Anyways, Owen, I was just gonna ask. Do you feel like you had no time to react to Callum's puncture? Because I didn't actually realize he had a puncture. I just thought you brake checked him. But you feel like if you were a little further back from him, that could have avoided it, or was that just inevitable?
I think it was inevitable. I was far enough back. I had no room to the right to try overtake him, and the left. You see, I was on his right side, so I couldn't swerve across to go around him, and he just stopped suddenly.
Yeah.
So I didn't have time to react, but I think I possibly could have, but not really at the same time.
I have 2 questions for you still, but please answer them shortly because we have to get on to the P2 and P1. But first question, do you feel like at any point when you were pulling away from Luis and then he caught up back to you and then you were having more penalties, did you feel like you were not going to be able to get the P3 or P2 that you were hoping probably to get?
I was hoping for a P3 because I knew Callum had a 5-second penalty to add on, and I knew he would have to pit because of his tyre percentage, and then there was a certain gap between me and Lee, which meant that I get P3 and Lewis would get P2 if Callum had pitted, or as you say, he got the puncture.
Yep, that was what I was counting as well. But do you feel like you had a crash with Owen as well? Do you feel like there was anything anything in your side, or just
what I'm thinking of was there was 3 cars, there was 3 of us going wide, and I got rear-ended kind of into Owen.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for your time, Owen, and wishing you the best of luck. You continue with Alpine next week. Congratulations on what will soon be your podium and P3. See you. What? My man just left me. Wow. I've never been left mid-interview while saying congratulations. Anyway, Louise, are you there? Our commentator.
Good evening.
First of all, how the fuck did you do that?
I have no fucking clue. All that I remember is I think Owen messed up, so I got past him, then he managed to get a 48-second gap, and then I lapped him at some point, and then Callum, and yeah, everything else happened. I was honestly trying to keep P4, but like, the thing is, they both crashed at the last second, so I just got both positions out of nowhere, and I was panicking. That made no sense, did it?
Yeah, that did not make any sense. I was trying to process it while texting, which is not a great idea. Fuck, I'm getting sick here. Owen, Toasty, you're making me sick here. Over the phone, which is not good. Which is something in 2024 that will probably happen. Anyways, Luis, from commentary box to P2, I criticized you and commentator driving like 10 times. You proved me wrong. You have anything to say to people who had a doubt on you even being able to drive in a straight line?
You were probably right in the first place, but I just somehow got lucky today.
Well, that's true, but question about lap 1. What happened there?
I don't really remember much other than I lost my front wing and that's it.
Yeah, I just saw you crash on the background because I had the issues as well. I saw you crash with the house and he ended up retiring. We'll see the reports and clips later when we get there, but congratulations.
If I did end up crashing the house, I'm very sorry.
Yeah, but congratulations on the podium, which you have definitely gotten by fair pace and a great car setup and great concentration and everything there. Congratulations to Luis, and then for once someone doesn't leave me mid-interview, we're going to our race winner finally after over 10 minutes. Sorry for the wait, Merit.
You're good.
Oscar Pastry, Merit Wilson, whatever you want to call yourself. You have just absolutely dominated today. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel great. I'm glad that I was able to re-sign with Alpha.
didn't like the driver controversy this afternoon, but this morning for me. Though I'm happy for Toshi. I don't plan on helping out Callum like Marcus and Kevin do with Alfa Romeo in Tier 1. I want to be... I mean, it does sound a bit greedy. I want to know... I want him to know that I've been here for longer, and I'm not just going to let him pass me in the championship just because we're teammates. And hopefully I can extend my lead in the next week.
So that's going to be your plan? You're going to be showing everyone that you are the #1 driver. That is some great mentality there, which has led up to this win. For the American youngster in the Alfa Romeo kick, Sauber, whatever you call it.
Also, first American to win in TSRL, because I don't think Abuka has won. So,
could be
unless
wrong.
someone else did.
I believe it could be the first win for an American here. Anyways, the next question from me is towards the fact that you lost out the fastest lap in the end. You feel like, because with the 30-second gap, you could have pitted for a soft tires at the end. Why didn't you do that? Do you feel like that was too much of a risk and the team didn't want to take the gamble on you getting closer to the field by pitting one extra time?
I did have a 2% used softs, but I didn't want to go back out and risk it. Just for a gamble that I might not even get the the fastest lap. Plus with Callum's puncture, I think I'm good enough for just to get in the race win. Hopefully I can overtake the leak if I can get because I don't think I saved my replay. But hopefully I can and regain those points. Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah. If my calculations are correct, you should be taking the lead of the championship. I'm not quite sure, but we'll see that later.
I'm only behind.
Actually, let me pull up the standings here real quick, and I'll confirm that. But one more question. Did you feel like you got bored during the race at all?
Sometimes I kept on, I had the stream on in the background, so I'd be watching the midfield fights. And then, I had the Arsenal update, so every couple minutes I'd get a notification. But that was really it. It wasn't really bored. I was just happy to get my first win, and knowing that I'd actually get my first win this early, and I can take the lead in the championship.
Yep. Well, as I'm looking at the standings, Alfa Romeo have taken the lead of the World Constructors Championship, and you have taken the lead in the World Drivers Championship. Congratulations. Congratulations on your maiden win and on your championship lead. Currently, did you want anything you want to say to the audience before we go and end the stream?
Subscribe to WPC Edits on YouTube and fuck Tottenham. Yep, that's all I wanted to say.
I have a question. When did I give you a permission to give a shout out to yourself? I don't care, to be honest.
I won. Let me enjoy my moment.
Anyways, you should probably talk about your sponsors, just to let you know before they get too angry.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Artemis Designs. He believed in me, except he's Canadian. But I love my sponsors. They pay me a lot of money to promote them, and I like money. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, and thanks for tuning in for TSRL today. And we've still got some racing action in just over 3 hours. For Tier 2, hopefully we'll see some of these similar faces there. And we have Lewis in the commentary box, not me, as I am driving the Vodafone, Spotify, McLaren, Mercedes, Marlboro, NordVPN, Formula 1 team racing car. Yes, that's the full name.
I dare you to get P1.
I'm not getting P1, but who cares? Thank you for watching Tier 3, and we'll be back next week in Silverstone for the British Grand Prix.
Oh no, not the...